Flight attendant refuses black man water, shaken when he demands her termination as airline director. Before we dive in this story, hit the comments and tell us your city or country. Let's see how far this story reaches. If you like the video, please subscribe. He asked for water, just water. But the flight attendant's eyes scanned him with that look, cold, dismissive, judgmental. She skipped his row, serving others with smiles, ignoring him entirely. Passengers glanced awkwardly but said nothing. He stayed calm, noting every detail. What she didn't know was that this man, quietly seated in economy, was no ordinary traveler. He didn't yell, he didn't argue. But when the plane touched down, her world would flip upside down because one quiet request turned into a corporate earthquake. Watch until the end to see how one man changed everything. Leonard Brooks lived in quiet power. A seasoned airline executive and recently appointed director of global operations for one of the nation's top carriers, he believed in staying grounded, literally and metaphorically. That day, dressed in jeans and a sweatshirt, he boarded an internal company flight unannounced. It was part of his initiative to see firsthand how his airline treated everyday passengers. No suits, no entourage, just him and a simple carry-on bag. As he settled into his aisle seat in row 22, he smiled politely at the crew. The cabin buzzed with idle chatter. Leonard wasn't looking for special treatment, just authenticity. But what he encountered would test more than policy. It would expose the quiet rot in customer service and the dangerous assumptions baked into appearances. And soon, the same flight attendant who overlooked him would learn exactly who she had dismissed. It started small. She offered drinks down the aisle, smiling and laughing, and occasionally provided extra cookies. But when she reached Leonard's row, her demeanor shifted. No smile, no words. She passed by. At first, he thought it was a mistake, so he waited. Minutes later, he pressed the call button politely. It blinked above him, signaling for help. The attendant returned, annoyed. Before he could speak, she waved him off. "We're busy right now," she said curtly, and moved on. Passengers beside him exchanged uncomfortable looks. Leonard lowered his hand. 20 minutes passed. No water, no acknowledgement. Another round came. She skipped him again. Others noticed. A man across the aisle whispered, "Are you okay?" Leonard nodded. Calmly, he took out his phone and made a quiet note. The final insult came when she served a drink to the man beside Leonard, then turned and walked away without a word. No eye contact, no explanation. She'd decided he wasn't worth serving. He wasn't dressed like a businessman. He was black, alone, and seated in coach. But she hadn't realized she was being watched not just by passengers, but by the very man who would determine her future. Leonard remained silent, composed, but as the plane began its descent, he leaned forward and opened his laptop. And that's when the wheels, both literal and figurative, began to turn. The plane landed smoothly. As passengers stood to deboard, Leonard remained seated, calm, focused. He made one call. Before the cabin door opened, 2 uniformed airline supervisors boarded. They walked straight to row 22. "Mr. Brooks, we're here as requested." The flight attendant blinked, confused. "Wait, what's going on?" Leonard stood and faced her. "You refused me basic service. Not once, repeatedly. And now, as Director of Operations, I'm initiating a formal review of your conduct, effective immediately." The color drained from her face. Passengers froze. Someone whispered, "He's the director?" She stammered, I didn't know." Leonard replied, calm but firm, "That's the problem." With that, he walked off the plane, leaving behind silence and a woman realizing she had just thrown her future away with a plastic water cup. The attendant was removed from duty pending investigation. What followed was a company-wide review of in-flight service practices and an overhaul of how unconscious bias was handled. Leonard didn't want revenge, he wanted change, and he got it. The story leaked to the press, sparking national debate. Was it a simple oversight or a symptom of a deeper issue airlines and society needed to face? Leonard remained silent publicly, but inside he knew racism doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers through neglect, exclusion, and subtle cruelty. He flew again the next day, coach class of course, watching, learning, changing the system from the inside out. How many people are judged by what they wear or the color of their skin before anyone knows who they truly are? Comment below. What country and city are you watching from? Let's keep this conversation going. Take care.